Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Awaken Live tonight. Out of the blue, no warning. I know sometimes that's just the way it goes. Freedom. It is the 27th of October, 6:47 p.m. Pacific Standard Time if you're here on this planet and give a rat's about time zones. And of course, it's always so very good to see you. So why are we here tonight? Well, we're here tonight to talk about freedom. And boy, talk about a misunderstood word. You know, it's just a single word, and it's kind of a weird word when you really think about it. And yeah. Anyways, so first of all, of course, and I want you to pay very close attention to this. I truly do love you. Openly, honestly, wholly, completely, just as you are. You are perfect in the manifestation of where you are right now. There is nothing wrong with you, nothing you need to be, nothing you need to do. Just be willing to look at yourself openly and honestly. See yourself through my eyes, the eyes of perfect love, and you can't help but be in love with yourself. No matter what you perceive you're going through right now, everything changes. From your point of view, it may look like it's harsh and life is against you, but trust me, you swim in an ocean of love. And in this love, there is something beautiful, something that we call freedom. And I confess, every time I say the word, I am brought right back to George Michael in the 90s and his song Freedom. And I mean, the lyrics don't apply at all, but I used to dance like mad to that. It's funny, the stuff that sticks in your head. So before we get totally into this tonight, I want to share a little bit of my vision. Now, my vision doesn't have to come true. I've lived so many lives to and I'm not tired of it yet, really. to the point where I take whatever life brings me with open arms, with gratitude, with reverence, with understanding that I'm being offered a special gift every time if I am wise enough to see it, to open myself enough to it. But I want to share with you the vision that I have. I picture Garhen's ashram, if you will, next to the ocean or next to a non-motored lake, nestled in the edge of a beautiful forest, close enough to a larger center, maybe 30 minutes away or so all the necessary concerns could be met outside of the small community that was being created. A place where people would come and this community would be entirely self-sufficient very quickly. We would have a forest play care where the focus was on reintroducing children to nature, to getting them to fall in love with it again, to let them create openly in that womb that Mother Nature offers, in that energy, to instill within them the joy of the natural world around us and a reverence for it. Because if we don't start changing the children now, no matter what happens to us, we're going to just keep going back to the same old thing. Cookie cuttering out whatever society needs year after year after year, watching change, progress, very slowly, marching forward, yet slowly. We can live with that. It's okay. But we can always choose something more. That's the whole point of being here, is to see the perfection in what is happening right now and what it's offering us. That's the true perfection. No matter how bad it is, there's a gift in it. There's an opportunity to become more in some way. So I see this place where children come to be taught the things that truly matter, the things the school system doesn't really care about. A return to creativity, a return to that precious breast that nature offers all of us to help heal us, to help make us whole again, to help nurture us. An eco campground where people would come to reconnect with nature. I would lead guided tours through the forest. The affinity that animals and nature have with me and I with them would lead to wondrous encounters. An ashram open to the air, open to the environment. Perhaps a giant yurt where people could gather together to ask questions and listen and be given the opportunity to grow and expand their consciousness. A place that became so self-sufficient that we would create a fund to bring the people who truly need the help that can be given them, who can't afford even a computer to get onto Facebook sometimes, or can't afford the internet, or don't know how to use it, or just need to be in the presence of someone who truly loves you, even if it was only for a week. There truly is nothing more freeing than loving completely, openly, and honestly. That's enough of my vision. Let's get to the main core of this, and that is freedom. What is freedom? You know, let's define freedom, and I'm sure you've heard many definitions of freedom, but in reality, there is only one definition of freedom, and that is to be free of two conditions. Excuse me. The two enemies of mankind, womankind, all kind, fear and guilt. You see, as long as there's fear and as long as there is guilt within you, freedom does not exist. It may appear you're free, but you're not making your choices from a state of freedom. You're making your choices from a state colored by fear, driven by grief. Guilt. So how do we let go of that? I mean, one of the simplest ways, of course, is to realize that we're all dead anyways. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, maybe the next day. If not the next day, 5 years, 10 years, sooner or later, yeah, you're dead anyways. So, is it worth fearing anything? And we're not talking about, you know, the physical being startled into action should a predator jump out in front of them. We're not talking about that. We're talking about fear and guilt. We're talking about dragging the past along with us all the time or projecting into the future. Freedom exists right here in this present moment. And freedom begins with a decision to love yourself enough to let go of your fear and let go of your guilt. Sometimes those deep-rooted fears and deep-rooted guilt are subconscious in nature. They're hard to see, but you will witness the effects in your conscious thinking. There will be patterns in the events of your life that will show you. Now, do not beat yourself up in any way for not being able to let go of fear or guilt. That's adding more guilt to the guilt. what can happen, and this happens often, is because this is what ego does as a highly adaptive uh, entity, okay, is it adapts, and it adapts very quickly, and it incorporates those fears into their persona. It incorporates that guilt into the sense of self. And in that way, it acts like inserting thorns into yourself. There's always this little painful prick happening in the background that's making changes to what you're able to consciously project outward. Another way to help yourself on that walk towards freedom is, of course, to simply allow yourself to push through your fears, to use fear as a reminder that you need to step through. And I know that some of you are on that journey of freedom right now. You know, there's been a few of you who've reached out to me and to Kelly, and there are others who haven't, but are in the background, taking what they need from the interactions. Freedom is only a short step away from here. And it is courage that can drive you towards your freedom. Courage to face the guilt and look at it closely. Look at it from that higher space of being. Realize that what you were back then, you are not today. That your vision was limited then. You didn't have that wider field of view that you do now. And indeed, without that experience, you may not have reached this wider field of view. So in truth, there is nothing to feel guilty for, and nothing to fear moving forward. That does not deny responsibility for your actions, but it removes blame. And taking on responsibility for your actions can seem fearful yet again. But believe me, it is the source of your power, because in taking on responsibility for your actions, your decisions, regardless of the others around you, you regain the realization that it's always been your power. It's always been your birthright. You are a sovereign being. You are the guide unto yourself. For most people's lives, they go through a vast period of that life, if they wake up at all in this existence, never realizing that guide. Always playing the victim to life itself, to situation, to circumstance, to relationship, to the actions of something outside of themselves. Your freedom lies in realizing that you are the source of your existence. Yes, we operate within a cooperative reality, if you will, but you are free to choose for you at any given moment. And when you reach this place of total freedom, you will understand then that there is nothing more to fear, nothing more to worry about. You are a free, creative part of all creation. And your journey of creation, the artwork of your existence, goes on for eternity. Much love to you all tonight. Sorry for no prior notice. I kept it short. Take very good care of yourself. Namaste. We will see you again very soon.